Shalom, Yom Tov. Welcome to episode 51 of my Wurm Unlimited tutorial series. This episode is on healing and healing covers, and of course it diverges to alchemy and natural substances is used, and perhaps not first aid yet, but I may explain something about first aid. So let's continue on from where I left off in the last episode. We went through the different components for healing covers and their healing potency. So continuing on, let's just now mention, of course, that you can use different forms of cloth armour. You can use strings of cloth, you can use cotton, and you can use square pieces of cloth. You can also use rags, but I don't have any rags, so you'll just have to take my word for it for now. Bear in mind that these items, cloth items and cotton and rags, use bandaging. So that would fall more under the healing. The healing covers, however, using the components, use treatment for wounds. So they fall more under alchemy and natural substances. But at the same time, they are also a form of healing. So you start to see how these all start to get melded into each other and one another. So you start to see why it's so difficult for me to separate them. Okay, so there we are. That's the important differences between cloth and healing covers. There are two different types of healing that you can apply to every single wound you get. They have different uses. There is a third healing option. You can't apply a third healing option though. You can only use one or the other of these, but there is one to replace, I think it either replaces the healing covers or the cotton healing. Anyway, we'll get to that. Okay, moving on then. So okay, just to talk a bit further about healing covers, you may apply a stronger potency cover over a weaker one, but in reverse you are told that the wound already has a better cover. So what that's telling us is if we had a wound on a part of our body and we applied a potency level 1 healing cover on that part of the body, but it was still damaged, that part of the body, we could then at a later stage, not too later of course, but we could then make a stronger version of the healing cover, okay, and apply it over that previously healing potency 1 covered wound. And I will mention to you later how you can discover the different types of levels of wounds. So there we are. That's what I just explained to you. Okay, so just to quickly recap, you may apply a stronger potency cover over a weaker one. But in reverse, if you do a weaker one, try to do a weaker one over a stronger one, you'll get the message, the wound already has a better cover. So there we go. Moving on. Potency. The strength of the cover is the potency value of the first ingredient or substance multiplied by that of the second. So, okay, don't worry, I'm not leaving it there. For example, a cover made from garlic, which has healing potency 2, and nettles, which have healing potency 3, would be 2 times 3 equals 6. So the garlic, healing potency 2, times nettles, healing potency 3, equals 6. Very simple maths if we put it like this. So the healing cover would have a potency of 6 potency. The maximum potency for a healing cover is 25. Okay, moving on. The quality level of a healing cover is of no consequence to the strength of the cover. To identify whether the cover is weak or strong, examine it and observe different event messages. The number in brackets are the strength based on the formula that I just mentioned to you. So, I began that by saying the quality level of a healing cover is of no consequence to the strength of the cover. To translate that, if you did not understand, if I tell you what, let's make a healing cover, why not? I'm doing lots of waffling but hardly any showing, so let's do some showing. Okay, so let's grab some garlic and let's grab, what did it say, garlic nettles. Now, how many nettles have I got? Nettles were healing potency of 3. So let's grab a couple of nettles, in case of failure that is. Okay, so we got 2 nettles and we got the garlic. So what we do, doesn't matter which one we activate first, we can activate the nettles or we can activate the garlic. I'll activate the nettles, right click on the garlic, go to Alchemy and mix. When I do this, observe the skill increase. So Alchemy, mix, and you'll see now you start to create a healing cover of nettles, the garlic and some grass, leaves and moss, which explains the description I gave you right at the beginning. You can see the progression bar as it's mixing. Up here you'll see now the skill has increased. How wonderful is that? We got alchemy and we got natural substances from trying to make a healing cover. We try again. Remember, when we get this to 10, it unlocks an ability. Do you remember what that ability is? It's okay, just keeping you awake. Right, so let's try again. Right click the garlic after activating the nettles, alchemy and mix. It will try again. Notice it's a 20-second timer, so it's a bit longer than your usual skills. Okay, so let's see if we're successful this time. Remember, it's very low. I create a healing cover. We got a skill gain again. Now we have the healing cover. Okay, if I extend that so you can see. So, why did we make this? Because we said, remember what I said, I will say it again, to identify whether the cover is weak or strong, examine it and observe different event messages. The numbers in brackets are the strength based on the formula that I'd mentioned previously. So we right click, we examine. Down here it tells us a bunch of interwoven grass mixed with various healing ingredients. It will be pretty efficient against wounds. So, reading the list of messages you can get and the capacity of the healing, the first message that you can get, a bunch of interwoven grass with various healing ingredients, it will help some against wounds. Okay, that's the first one. That will heal between 1 and 5 damage. The next message you can get, a bunch of interwoven grass mixed with various healing ingredients, it will be pretty efficient against wounds. Well, that's the message we've got, so we're the next level up. We're level 2 if you like, tier 2. That will heal between 6 and 9 damage. The next message you can get, tier 3, a bunch of interwoven grass mixed with various healing ingredients, it will be good against wounds. Tier 3 will heal between 10 and 12 damage. Okay, the next tier, tier 4, I won't bother with the first bit because that is monotonous. It will be, so it'll say the same, a bunch of blah blah blah. It will be very good against wounds. This is tier 4. It will heal between 15 and 16 damage. The next tier, tier 5, the message will be the same at the beginning, and it will say it will be supreme against wounds. Tier 5 will heal 20 plus damage. So 20 up until about 20, I don't know, 20 plus, but it goes up quite a bit higher, I think to 29. So it does a good deal of damage. It heals a good deal of damage at tier 5. Once the wound is treated, examining it will confirm the potency of the attached cover. So when you have a wound on your body and you treat that wound, because remember, using healing covers treats a wound, using cotton or any of these will bandage the wound. So after you've treated a wound, it will tell you, if you examine it, the type of healing cover that's attached, the potency of the healing cover that's attached. So there we are, moving on. You have to keep an eye on the weight of the components and healing covers. Some are very light, but some are heavy. Healing covers will vary in weight from 0.02 to 1.80 kilograms. So you can see there's a big variety in weights. Now here's a question for you to get you engaged. This is a question aimed at the veteran players of Wurm who are used to playing Wurm, but however, feel free to engage and answer this question if you wish. And the question is, why is the weight a factor that you should keep a good eye on? Why should you be watching the different weights of the healing covers that you're creating? Why is it important? Okay, so you may pause the video, answer the question. I'm now going to give you the answer. Okay, healing covers cannot be stored in BSBs or FSBs. So therefore, they cannot be stored in a container to reduce or stop damage, just like I mentioned previously with mushrooms. So therefore, they will rot fast if left on the ground or in a container on the ground. So the answer to that question then, of course, is you want to keep watching the weights, because when you're going out on a hunting trip in the wilds, you want to take a minimum of 10 with you. Now, if they're the highest weight that I previously mentioned, you're getting yourself overloaded. And I know you're going to be on a mount of some type, but let's say you get knocked off that mount or get off that mount, or something happens, you go AFK and you get back and find your mount, you got off your mount and the mount's been killed or run off. It's important to always watch your weight, so always make sure you're carrying the lowest weight healing covers that you can make. Experiment, trial and error, make the low weight healing covers and carry a surplus of them in your pottery bowl in your backpack. So there we are. Moving on. Here's a pro tip. If you keep the healing covers that you make on your body so let's say you keep them in that pottery bowl within your backpack, you will stop them from rotting indefinitely. They will never rot. So there is a good pro tip for you. If you make 50 really light healing covers, you can store them in your pottery bowl. They will never rot, so they will never get damage. That is a way to indefinitely keep them. As soon as you put them down, like I've mentioned, they will start to rot at a fast rate. So there we are, there's the pro tip. Continuing on. Factors of success chance of healing covers. The chance of success is affected by your first aid skill, the quality of the cover and severity of the wound. So there's 3 factors. Okay, so it's saying that your first aid skill is 1 factor. The quality of the healing cover is another factor. And the severity of the wound is another factor. So when I mentioned about the different types of tiers of healing covers against the different types of wounds, you now understand what that third one, the severity of the wound, is. Okay, moving on. You can bandage a wound first, then you can apply a healing cover to the wound, thereby giving you 2 ways to heal each wound. So, when you get a wound on any part of your body, you can first use cotton, and I will explain later why, out of all of these, you would use cotton to bandage a wound. Then you would use a healing cover to treat the wound. So thereby, if it was a severe damage, you would be reducing the damage in a good measure. Moving on. You cannot use the recipe or crafting window with making healing covers. So just a little thing to mention there. Notice I've not brought up the crafting window. Making healing covers, you make old school. Okay, moving on. Okay, so here's another little fact of making healing covers. Apart from mushrooms, both ingredients must be different. So for example, 1 must be barley and 1 garlic. Okay, just so you cannot mix 2 garlic together to make an alchemy item. You do not get the alchemy option. But if you add a pumpkin, for example, so we activate the garlic. Now if we right click, because it's a different type of vegetable, we right click, we now get the alchemy and can mix. So what that has just told you, what I mentioned, was you can't use 2 of the same type. You use 1 of one type and a different type. But there is a exception to that rule. If you are using mushrooms, you can use the same mushroom on the same mushroom. Let's demonstrate. 2 blue mushrooms. Activate the first mushroom, right click the second mushroom, and I fall flat on my face. Okay, so what it actually means is grab the yellow mushroom and right click. Now we get alchemy. So now you fully understand. You cannot use 2 of the same colour, but you can use 1 colour with another colour. So there you go. Okay, point got across, perfectly understood by you. Let's put that back. That was 3. And that was... Wait a minute, was that blue 3? Yeah, that was 3. And yellow is 3. There we go. Just a little thing to mention about the mushrooms. The red mushroom is the only mushroom that you cannot use in healing covers. You'll know that if you right click on the red mushroom, go to find, you'll notice there's no healing cover information. Red mushrooms, the only use at this current moment for them is to eat them, and if you eat them they will give you such a tiny bit of food, it's just not really worth it. But there you go. If you're stuck in the middle of nowhere with nothing else, you can do a Bear Grylls and eat the mushroom. Right, moving on. Okay, another pro tip. When you're out in the wilds, okay, in dangerous territories and areas, realise that you can make healing covers from on your mount. So whether you're on a cart, a wagon, a horse, a bull, a crocodile, a bear, you can make the healing covers without having to get off of your mount, as you noticed I did already, without you realising it. Although some of you may have been observant and realised that I was on the mount and made the healing cover, for the rest of you, you can make your healing covers whilst being on your mount, like you can fish whilst being on your mount. There's lots of different things you can do whilst being on your mount, so there's another one, you can make healing covers. Okay, moving on. Factors. Oh no, I've done that already. Failure to apply a healing cover has a small chance to make the wound worse. Yes, with everything in life, you know that for every plus there is a minus. So be aware that if you fail to use a healing cover, there is a small chance that it will make the wound worse. Okay. Here's a question for you. How many categories of healing cover components do you believe there are? Let's close that. Close that. So there's a question. How many different categories of healing covers do you believe there are? Example, these are vegetables. There is one category. How many do you believe there are? You can pause the video, have a think. I shall now give you the answer. There are 6 types of category for healing cover components. Okay, we will now take a look at them 6 different components. So if I open up my pottery bowls, if we open the first one, you'll notice there's vegetables, there's herbs, there's plants and shrubs, there is, let's find some more, there are animal parts, that falls under plants and shrubs, there are mushrooms, and oops, no, that's too far. So if I just listed off the 6, brain is not engaged with that. Let's see. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You see, sometimes I catch even myself out. There is a 6th one. Let's see, did I have the good sense to write them down? I doubt it very much. You don't come here for good sense. You come here for a little information on Wurm. Okay, sorry, I'm just going to quickly check my notes. Yeah, for some reason, I've skipped over this quickly. There are 6 categories. There are 6 different types of items you can use for making your healing covers. Oh, fruit. There we go. Because there's only one type of fruit. That's why it was buried in the one bowl. I didn't expand. Typical of me. There you go. So there's number 6. Lemons. They're a fruit. So there we go. There's your 6 categories. Okay, moving on. Now I've completely lost myself in my notes. Let's just get myself back. The different healing potencies of Yeah, no, actually I've mentioned that. Okay, here's the next thing for me to mention. Okay, so there are 6 different categories. Now let's tell you how you get them 6 categories. Different ways you can. So let's switch over here. Okay, starting with the grains, because that's the way my notes are laid out. Barley can be botanized, or it also can be farmed. Note, all grains can only be botanized. They cannot be foraged. Note, all vegetables can only be foraged. They cannot be botanized. So grains are botanized. Vegetables are brain is going. Foraged. All vegetables can only be foraged. Okay, so your grains you can get by botanizing and farming. Vegetables you can get by foraging and farming. Mushrooms are picked off the ground and botanized from tree tiles. Herbs are botanized, but they cannot be planted. Animal parts are butchered from animals before you sell the body to the token, like I showed you a couple of episodes ago. Plants and shrubs, camellia, rose and lavender, are harvested in different worm seasons. Fruit, lemons, are harvested in different worm seasons. Okay. Carrying on. Let's see how I'm doing for time. Okay, let me just quickly look. Right, I think I will read just this. I've separated it off. No, I'll stop there and continue on in another new episode. Wherever you are in the world, God bless you and keep every single last one of you safe. And have a fantastic day. Goodbye.